Hey everybody, welcome back. I've got a few things for you today, and if you're elderly or you plan on getting that way, hit the like button for me because this is going to shed a little light on the subject. I've got an email from MNJ. She's in the comments, and if you guys aren't in the comments, you need to get in there. I had to go abroad to find these people. I'm telling you, they're good. I meet them, I tell them get in the comments, and they're in there. So get in there, make some noise, and make some friends. And come to a meetup one day if we ever have another one. I don't know when the next one is. But, so M&J is putting her dad in the nursing home. There's 4 or 5 of them that are just out of business. And so I knew about this about 7 years ago. I started looking into residential assisted living. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's an investment opportunity that we can take care of our elderly and us as we get older. That's my plan. Maybe you'll do it with me. Or at least, if you know something, let me know. So 60% of nursing homes are not taking new patients due to staff shortages. Nursing homes are falling off by the hundreds just since the pandemic. In 1950, 1 out of every 12 was 65, over 65 years of age. It's predicted by 2050, if any of us live that long, it'll be 1 in 4. Now that's hard to believe that a quarter of the population is going to be over 65. But, this is, man, anyway, like I said, that's hard to believe, but this is a big problem. So the whole 3-step educate, work, retire thing is about to be broken. And if you're worried about your pension or your retirement, I want to recommend something to you right now. Who Stole My Pension by Robert Kiyosaki. I bought it from my father-in-law. There's a lot of people that think their pension is just good as gold and it'll be there forever. And I'm telling you, it probably will not be. They are gambling with it in the stocks and bond markets. Period. They don't really have the money. They stole that a long time ago. So, sorry to tell you about that. Read the book. I don't want to do too much bad news. As a matter of fact, I've got a joke for you at the end. Somebody reached out in the comments and said, no, in the email, and said, hey, why aren't you doing any humor? We need to laugh through this. And I agree. So I got a good joke for you. So hang in there. Give me just a minute. Before I get into the residential assisted living, the reason I started researching it is because I went and when I was a kid, I rode a motorcycle up and down the road, raising hell everywhere I went. And I went by this one house way on the edge of town, and this old man was there, old black man. His name was Richard. And he would jump up and say, hey, partner. And he'd love me to stop and talk to him. So I'd whip in there, and I'd stop, and I'd visit with Richard. And he'd even share his natural light with me when I was a little kid. Anyway, so Richard got old, like we all hope to do. And what I learned is Richard didn't have any money. It was obvious from the way he lived, which I didn't judge him. I didn't care. But what I did care about is how he ended up. And this is what really scared me. This really did something to me. So Richard wound up in a government-funded nursing home. Okay? This was the worst, in my opinion, probably the worst place I could imagine ending up being. It was hot. The ACs didn't work very good. The halls were narrow. It was built in the 60s. It was real humid. It was in the middle of summer. It felt like a wet dog breathing on you when you walked in. The rooms were real small. There was enough room for a bed and a way to walk past it, and a chair and a TV, and that was about it. There was roaches on the floor, and it was just bad. It was a bad deal, and it really got me thinking. That's when I run into the residential nursing home idea. That's my new cooker. Tyson gave me that. You build a fire and cook about anything you want. I'll do some videos on it later, but just an idea if you want to cook with wood. So, residential assisted living. So we've got these McMansions, right? We've got the houses that were built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, these huge, you know, monstrosities that a lot of people don't really want anymore. Can you imagine heating and cooling one of those things? So the idea is, and people have been doing it for a long time, is to buy one or a bunch of them, depending on how many people I can get together, and hopefully on a lake, and everybody gets their own boat slip, by the way, if you're in the one I'm in, and you make the doorways a little wider to accommodate a wheelchair, you rip the carpet up and put in the hardwood floors. I mean, there's certain things you got to do. I understand you got to spend quite a bit of money on them to get them to where they need to be, to be able to get paid to do it through Medicaid or Medicare. I'm not sure how it works. I'll have to get into that later. I try not to get too far into something before I'm ready, because I'll get all the way in and it's not time. So a lot of you probably already know about this. But I'm just saying, maybe I'll do some videos on residential assisted living when I do start getting in it, because it seems like the best way. It seems like the best way to take care of our elderly and take care of you later. You know, it's like a win-win. You make money along the way, and you get to pick where you retire. There's people there to help you cook and clean. And if you need a nurse, you could possibly pay a nurse to come in and help. Not sure how that works, because it's not a nursing home. It's just an assisted living home. But, so, that's an idea. Let me know in the comments what you think. Now, I'm going to walk you down to the orchard. I need to cut these down, I think. I'll show you what I've done. So I get a ton of water through here. All the water, half the water I get comes right through there. And I put some 50-year plastic down, this pit liner. I built a levee on this side, a levee on that side. And I put some rocks and gravel, and that's where most of the water's going to go, is right through that plastic. I got my hills built up with compost. I got compost tilled down. I turned the ground over with my middle buster and piled it up real nice. I've got another one on that side. It's got some grass on it. That's where the blueberries are going to go, and that peaches, apples, and plums. I'm not sure quite yet. I'm probably going to go with the dwarf trees. Let me know if you got any experience with that. I don't. I do not have any experience with fruit trees, but I'm going to do my best to do it perfect, and then we'll see how it works. I'll let you know. Yeah, let me get into the other two emails. One of them was about silver, and it was interesting because there was a hold at his pawn shop where he likes to buy silver. And what he said was, I went to my local pawn shop to see if they had any 1-ounce generic rounds, and they had a 10-day hold for resale. He didn't know what to do or what to think. You know, I pretty much can tell you probably what that is. I'm just speculating. Somebody got caught, or somebody reported some silver being stolen in that area. So they go to all the pawn shops and say, hey, you got to put a hold on your silver for 10 days, and, you know, the police department will come around and I guess check the silver. They do that for guns too. So that's probably what it is. Somebody got, I can't talk. Somebody reported silver being stolen, and they let the pawn shops know to hold it. That's probably what's going on. One more was, this person had a really serious question about, what about brokerages, money in brokerages account? There's been a lot of talk and people saying, don't, get your money out of the banks. Get your money out of the banks. Well, you got to have money in the banks to pay bills, so I don't agree with that completely. But he's asking, what are brokerages? Are they different? And here's the problem with this comment. It starts off with most of our money, except for the silver we have. That to me is a no-no. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do. I don't want to tell you what to do. Don't ever do anything I say. But what I would do is not have most of my money in anything. Now's a good time to play your cards tight and really pay attention to the party on the other side of the table. And if you really want to figure out what to do, figure out, you and your wife sit down, figure out what your net worth is, and to come up with a safe percentage. some type of percentage, whether it be 30%, 10%, 50%. You know, you've got 10 to 50 in precious metals. You've got your cash bag that you keep in your safe or wherever you keep it. You've got your brokerage account. You've got your other bank accounts. You know, you spread it out on a percentage basis and play it like that. Now, that's not financial advice, really. That's just kind of playing it safe, because the odds of everything going down isn't very good. The odds of one thing failing is, you know, that's likely. And if everything starts to fail, like the banks are bailing in and brokerages are stealing money, I don't know, whatever, your precious metals are going to do really good. They always do good in volatile environments like that. So that's why you hedge with precious metals. And somebody in there's going to say, they're not going to do you any good. Precious metals, you're going to throw them in the streets, because whatever. I'm talking about 10 to 50%, guys. I'm not talking about everything. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket ever. Never do that. It's a 100% way to fail. So don't, just know it's a percentage. The wealthy think in percentages. It's the only way I could try to help you. I don't have a crystal ball. I do not know what brokerages are going to do, to be honest with you. I mean, we are in uncharted territory. There's no way for me to know that. But I do know one thing. If you have most of your wealth in one spot and it fails, you're going to really be upset. If you have just some over there and it failed, then, you know, you're not happy, but you're not belly up. So that's what I have to say about that. All right, now for the joke. All right, so we're talking about nursing homes and old people, right? So, old man and old woman standing in front of the mirror. They're in the bathroom. And they're standing there. They got, you know, they're in their underwear, and she's looking in the mirror, and she starts just ragging on herself. You know, oh my, I got wrinkles all over my face, and my skin's sagging, and I got this turkey neck, and my tits are looking at the floor, and my hair's gray and it's going thin. And the old man's just sitting there, he ain't saying nothing. He's trying to figure out what to say, trying to make her feel better, you know. So that's men try to do that, you know, try to solve your problems and make you feel better. And she looked at him like, you gonna say something? He said, well, look on the bright side. There's nothing wrong with your eyes. All right, guys. Have an awesome, awesome day. I'll see you in the next one. Later.